everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your #1 news source for everything Marvel. And for today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new release Marvel Legends 6-inch Spider-Man Space Venom Build-A-Figure Wave Miles Morales Spider-Man from Hasbro. Now this figure has started to hit shelves overseas along with the rest of the wave, and it should start hitting here in the United States as early as next month. The figure comes packaged in the same style of packaging we've been seeing with all the Legends figures this year. You've got the Build-A-Figure logo up at the very top, then you've got the Legends series logo. The figure's clearly displayed in the window box packaging, and then down below you've got a Spider-Man logo, and it lists the figure as Ultimate Spider-Man. So you get on one side of the packaging you have the Miles Morales Spider-Man, an image of him, and then on the other side the Peter Parker Ultimate Spider-Man. Then on the back you have a look at both figures, a brief bio in multiple languages, and it'll look at all the figures in the wave that you need to get in order to complete the Space Venom Build-A-Figure. Okay, so let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside of the packaging along with the other contents. First of all, you get the right arm for the Space Venom Build-A-Figure, and once we have all the pieces together, we'll put this together and do a review of it on its own, so be sure to check back for that. You get 3 different pairs of hands with this figure, so you get a pair of open hands, then you get a pair of closed-fisted hands, and then you get a pair of web shooting hands. And switching out the hands is easy like always. You just pull out the hand that you want to replace, and you got the little peg on the hand, and then you put in the one that you want to switch it out with, and it should pop right in. Finally, you get 2 different heads with this figure, so you get the masked head, and I like the paint details. I like the white on the eyes with the black and the red webbing. I think it all looks pretty good. No real paint blotches or anything on the head. And then to switch it out, it's attached to a ball joint, so you just pull it off. And then the alternate head is an unmasked Miles Morales head. And again, I think they've done a pretty good job with this. I'm not that familiar with this character, but from what I've seen, this looks pretty true to what we see in the comics for the character, so no real complaints with that. And again, I think the pupils are done good as far as the paint applications and good skin tone and everything. So for the figure itself, this is a new mold. It's their new teenager male buck, and I think it looks pretty good. I like the size of it. My only thing I don't really like is I do think the feet on this figure look a little too big to me. I don't know, what do you think? But otherwise, I think it's a nice looking figure. The paint applications are pretty solid. The line work for the webbing is pretty clean. You got the spider on the back, which I like. I do have a little red splotch here and a little black splotch here, but nothing too major. So, and then the rest of the figure is basically black. So again, overall, I think that they've captured the likeness of the Miles Morales Spider-Man pretty good. So this figure stands just a little bit over 5.5 inches tall. Here he is next to the pizza-eating Spider-Man. And just for one more comparison, here he is next to Spider-Gwen. Articulation on this figure is pretty good. He can look left and he can look right. Head's on a ball hinge joint, so he's got decent down movement, and he can look up pretty good as well. Arms are attached with your standard ball hinge joint at the shoulder, so he can get his arm out good, and he's got good rotation. He's got the bicep swivel. He's got a double hinged elbow, so good bending there. He's got swivels at the wrist, and he's got hinges on the hands, so he's got good up and down movement with the hands. He's got an ab crunch joint, so he can crunch down good, and he can look back pretty decently. He's also got a waist swivel. Legs are attached with ball joints, so he can do the splits good. He can get his leg forward good, and he can do his leg back about that much. He's got a thigh swivel, double jointed knee, so good bending at the knee. He's got a boot cuff swivel, hinges on the feet, so good up and down, or good down movement. Can't really do his foot up very much, and then he does have ankle pivot and 2 peg holes on the bottom of his feet. Okay, that's my review. Overall, I like the figure. I like the size of the figure. I like the alternate head. I'm glad to see that we're seeing more alternate heads with these figures. My only real complaint with this one is I do think the feet come off looking a little too big on it. But otherwise, I think it's a nice looking figure, and glad to see we're getting a new mold added to the line. So as I've mentioned before, this figure, along with the rest of the wave, is starting to hit overseas. It should start hitting shelves here in the United States early next month. So like early July. We'll have a full gallery of images up at MarvelousNews.com. There'll be a link in the description below. As always, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. Also, if you haven't already, please follow me on my Facebook and or Twitter pages. I'll have links to those in the video description as well. And until next time, I'll catch you later.